Why, hello, people of YouTube, and hello, the world. Welcome back to the Nerdic Pro Podcast, episode number 160. I want to say 163, I think. So welcome to podcast number 163. Excuse me, 161, 162, 163. Yes, so today is podcast number 163, the third one here on YouTube. Welcome back to the Nerdic Pro Podcast's YouTube channel. For those of you that do not know who I am, my name is Bobby SalaStar, and I am your Nerdic Pro Podcast General Manager. Now, today, I am going to be giving some more SalaStar ratings out there. So today I will be going over... Is this it? Excuse me. So today I will be going over DDT-Pro Wrestling's Mega Max bump from earlier on this year. I believe this took place back in March. This card has now been, the main event of this card, now is at the time of recording this podcast, the highest rated match I've ever actually given a match in the 200 plus matches that I've actually rated thus far. Which, you know what? How many matches have I actually rated so far? That is something that I would like to know. So, the current things will be inclusive. So, the current number will be inclusive of this DDT show. So, 2, add 1, add 1, add 2, 5, 10, 12, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, so 17, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 36, 4 and a quarters, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 28, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 5, 10, 15, 20, 22, 5, 10, 15, 20, 21, 5, 10, 15, 5, 10, 2, 3, 9, 2, 3, 2, and then 1. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 17, 20, 22, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64. So 64 is up there. So 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16 add 6, that's 22. So currently there are 224 matches that actually go towards the SalaStar rating system. Bearing in mind I'm now actually watching another DDT show. I can not actually remember which DDT show that it actually is. But, yeah, so... that's the show that I might want to talk about. Dynamite. Dramatic Explosion 2022. So yeah, DDT Dramatic Explosion 2022 is the show that I'm currently now in the midst of actually watching. So yeah, and a SalaStar ratings podcast for that will be out in due course. Tomorrow is going to be a very, very busy day for the SalaStar rating system here on YouTube, as I will be watching AAA's Lucha Libre Triple Mania 30 show, which took place the June 8th, I believe it was the June 18th edition of the show. I will be watching that tomorrow morning, in like the early hours of tomorrow morning. So yeah, as I'm literally getting up at like stupid o'clock in the morning, specifically to get podcasts out and ready for YouTube, as I do want several podcasts out here on YouTube before the end of the year. And yeah, so yeah, there's going to be several SalaStar ratings podcasts coming out within the next sort of couple of days, especially, and in the next couple of weeks. Every episode of All Elite Wrestling Dynamite, All Elite Wrestling Rampage, WWE Monday Night Raw, WWE Friday Night SmackDown, and NXT will have, by the end of the year, will have a podcast on these, will have a SalaStar ratings podcast designated to that specific show to be uploaded here onto the Nerdic Pro Podcast YouTube channel. So, yeah, anyways, besides all that, let's get on to talking about the Dynamic Dream Team Pro Wrestling, DDT-Pro Wrestling's Mega Max Bump 2022 show. Now, in this match, there were two dark matches to begin with. Both of these dark matches were put onto Wrestle Universe. So they weren't dark matches, but they were dark matches to the actual live audience, the live crowd. So the two the two dark matches. There may have been more dark matches, but on Wrestle Universe there were only two dark matches that were actually put onto Wrestle Universe for the show. So they were both. So to begin with, was Kanon versus Yuya Kuroku, and Toru Owashi and Naomi Yoshimura versus Antonio Honda and Yuki Ishida. Now, talking more briefly about the Kanon versus Yuya Kuroku match, they're both brilliant and fantastic wrestlers. They really, really are. I really do admire their charisma together, their literally charisma throughout the whole of DDT. I've rated several of their matches in DDT. I'm a massive fan of the pair of them, but since this was a dark match, they were no doubt given literally, I think the match was literally tops of 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes at a push. So yeah, with it being a dark match and all that, yeah, you can't really prolong it to be the length of Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega at Dominion from June of 2018, can you? So, you know what I mean? The match where Dave Meltzer rated it 7 stars, but, you know, I won't talk about that, or him, of Big Uncle Davey Meltz. But, yeah, so Kanon versus Yuya Kuroku from Mega Max Bump 2022. They're both fantastic wrestlers, they really are. I really do hope that within the next 18 months we do see a lot more from the pair of them. in terms of them being solid mid-carders in the DDT Pro Wrestling roster. And maybe seeing them go over to companies like Pro Wrestling Noah, or I don't watch a lot of Dragon Gate or All Japan, but maybe I don't know whether or not they do, but maybe wrestle for All Japan or Dragon Gate. Do you know what I mean? I think Yuya Kuroku. Well, I don't actually know the fella's name properly, but is it Fujiwaka from Dragon Gate? Like, am I saying it right? Fujiwaka? Like, is he the Dragon Gate Open the Dream Gate champion or a former Dragon Gate Open the Dream Gate champion? I think that Yuya Kuroku would have a fairly solid match against Fujiwaka, as I have seen like a bit of Fujiwara. Like I think that's his name, but yeah, like I do think that Yuya Kuroku would fit well in a match or some sort of series with him. So yeah, in terms of rating this match, 1.75 stars out of 5. It was good to an extent because I really do like both Yuya Kuroku and Kanon. I really do. But again, this being your stereotypical over and done with in 5 minutes match, you can't exactly rate it a Dave Meltzer 7 stars. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so 1.75 out of 5. Moving on to the next match, which was a tag team match in the dark match sort of segment. This was a match between Toru Owashi and Naomi Yoshimura versus Antonio Honda and Yuki Ishida. This was slightly better than the Kanon versus Yuya Kuroku match. There was more momentum. In the match. There was more sort of fast-paced Japanese strong style wrestling, which I am a fan of, like a massive fan of. Toru Owashi is a good Japanese strong style sort of technical wrestler. So is Naomi Yoshimura. Both fantastic Japanese strong style competitors in the Japanese wrestling business. So yeah, personally, in terms of rating, 2.25 out of 5. So 2.25 stars out of 5. So moving on to the main show. We started out with a singles match, another singles match between Shinya Aoki and Toi Kojima. Toi Kojima is another fantastic junior heavyweight. If DDT had a KOD Junior Heavyweight Championship, I do believe that Kanon, Yuya Kuroku, Shinya Aoki, Toi Kojima, Kazuki Hirata, Yukio Sakaguchi, right, would all be, like, just those 6 wrestlers would be fantastic competitors for the KOD Junior Heavyweight Championship. So yeah, in terms of the Shinya Aoki versus Toi Kojima match, again, fairly fast pace, good sort of Japanese junior heavyweight strong style sort of capability in the match. They've got very good chemistry together. So yeah, again, not the best of matches, but certainly not the worst of matches, as I have seen worse. Personally, Bobby SalaStar rates this match 2.25 stars out of 5, so a 2.25 star rating. Moving on to a 10-man tag team match for the KOD 10-man tag team titles. Now, this match was between the reigning champions of Poison Sawada Julie even, and Takeshi Sasaki, Gentaro Mikami, and Tano Musutabo versus Shanshiro Takagi, Yoshiaki Yasu, Akito, Kazuki Hirata, and Gota Ihashi. I'm not a fan of the Poison Sawada character. I'm really not. It's literally a rip-off of fucking some sort of Jedi mind trick kind of thing from Star Wars. Literally playing the fucking what's his name? Who's that serial killer from the films? You bastard. It's Mike something, isn't it? Is it Mike? I'm gonna have to YouTube this now. Bollocks. HDMI 2. Yeah, change to HDMI 2. Yeah, come on, I haven't got one A. So, the Netherlands versus Argentina. Fuck me, we're in extra time and it's currently 2-2. Lovely. It was either Mark or Mike something, and I really cannot actually remember who. Like what his name is. Mike, Mark, Michael. Not Michael McIntyre, he's a comedian. Not Mike Pence, he's a fucking politician. Not Jay, you twat. Right, Not Mike Tyson. Like, if anyone actually listening to this knows who I'm on about, hang on, so horror film, horror movie, not The Exorcist, good film, but not that. Is it Mike? Mike Myers, that's it. Mike Myers, right. Finally. Google. Mike Myers, that was the name that I was trying to fucking think of. Right, now let me go back onto Wrestle Universe, right? What a twat. Mike Myers. There was Mike Myers, and then there was... Is there like another Myers anywhere? But yeah, the Poison Sawada. The Poison Sawada, Julie, sort of character is literally a mix between, like, I want to say a bit of like Darth Maul, Count Dooku, and Mike Myers to an extent. Yeah, so not really a fan of it. However, the match in general was actually fairly good, to be fair. I believe I rated it 3.75 stars. Yeah, 3.75 out of 5. So yeah, very, very good match. Personally, I am not a fan of like multi-man tag team matches. So like your typical like 8-man matches. I'll tolerate a 6-man tag match to some extent if it's got like a story behind it and if there is a bit of fast-paced sort of maneuvering in the actual match. But 10-man tag matches, I'm not a fan of in the slightest. However, I will give credit where credit is due. This match was actually a fairly decent match. I had rated it 3.75 out of 5 stars. So, yeah. So, it was a championship retain. So, your Poison Sawada Julie, Takashi Sasaki, Kentaro, Mikami, and Tano Masaku Toba. They were your reigning champions, and they ended up walking away victorious and still the DDT KOD 10-man tag team champions. Moving on to the next match, which was the third match on the proper card, on the main card. However, the fifth match in general, if you include the two dark matches from earlier on in the evening, earlier on in the show. This match was a match between Saki Akai, Hideaki Okatani, and Mamaya Yaguchi, and Shunma Katsu. No, it ain't. Saki Akai, Hideaki Okatani versus Maya Higuchi and Shunma Katsumata. Now, Shunma Katsumata, let me tell you something about Shunma Katsumata. Shunma Katsumata was actually in the first match that I had rated 5.5 stars, like above 5. Let me get the word straight. He was in the match that I had first rated above 5 stars. Right, so being 5.25 stars. This was a match against the bad boy Joey Janela at DDT's Wrestle Peter Pan 2022 show in an incredible hardcore no DQ match. Right, fucking amazing match. Really, really was a very, very good match. I had rated that 5.25 stars, and it was the first match that I had actually rated above the SalaStar 5-star rating. So yeah, that match is now amongst 4 matches that actually go towards the 5+ star ratings for the Nerdic Pro Podcast, 5+ star ratings. So yeah, this match was an intergender match, an intergender tag team match. So yeah, very, very good match. So far, up until this match, was the highest rated match thus far. So yeah, I rated this match 4 out of 5. Very, very good match, to say the least. So yeah, Shunma Katsumata, I'm a massive, massive fan of. Saki Akai, I think that her music's fucking fantastic. Do you know what I mean? Saki Akai, I do think that she can do wonders. I don't watch a lot of Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, TJPW. I believe she does wrestle for them. Or like on the odd occasion, wrestle for Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, TJPW. But yeah, I would like to see more of Saki Akai in companies like TJPW, as I do think that there are several wrestlers in TJPW that she actually can go. That she can go like the full lengths with. So yeah, Hideaki Okatani, again, fucking amazing wrestler, really, really good. So yeah, out of 5, I'm rating this match a pure solid 4 out of 5 star rating. Moving on to match number 6 in general for this show. We had Lino Yuki and Danshoku Dieno and Imanari Yumahito versus Hisaya Imbayashi and Akima and Muscle Sakai. Right, I believe the president of DDT. So Hisaya Imbayashi versus his longtime rivals of Lino Yuki, Danshoku Dieno, and Imanari Yumahito. Sexy. I fucking love these guys, right? How these guys haven't been given a proper sort of run as 6-man. Well, I do believe that they've been given quite a few 6-man tag team runs. As Danshoku Dieno is, I believe, actually a former 6-time KOD openweight champion. Believe it or not. But this is going back years ago. I've only recently started to get into DDT properly since I actually started subscribing to Wrestle Universe about 2 months ago. So yeah, Wrestle Universe, may I say, this is not a sponsored podcast by Wrestle Universe, but if you would like to watch the likes of Pro Wrestling Noah, DDT-Pro Wrestling, Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, or Ganbare Pro Wrestling, then Wrestle Universe is the place to go. It costs, I believe, 900 yen a month, which, for those of you here in the UK, works out just over £5.40. It's about £5.40 to £5.43, 44p per month. And I think with someone like myself, who watches a lot of fucking Japanese wrestling, who watches a lot of wrestling in general, I do believe that that's well worth like my money. At like £5, just over £5.40, 5 to £5.45 tops. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. Sort of like in terms of what's the word? Cost price, if you know what I mean. So yeah. Anyways, this 6-man tag team match, 4.5 stars out of 5 in terms of a Bobby SalaStar star rating match. Absolutely fucking brilliant match. So yeah. Anyway, so Daisuke Sasaki, moving on to the next match. Daisuke Sasaki, MJ Paul, and a mystery tag team partner versus Yuji Hino, Yukio Naya, and Soma Takao. Now, Yuji Hino, Yukio Naya, and Soma Takao came out to the ring for a 6-man tag team match, right? But Daisuke Sasaki and MJ Paul had stated previously in the build-up to this match that they were going to have a mystery tag team partner teaming with them. Now, Daisuke Sasaki and MJ Paul came out to make their entrance. However, they were followed by a man in a hood, right? A man wearing a jumper with his hood over his head. Now, the man with his hood was completely covering his face. I couldn't tell who it actually was from the camera angle on how I was actually watching this show via Wrestle Universe. So, Daisuke Sasaki, MJ Paul, and this mystery tag team partner get into the ring, right? And then about a minute later, the mystery tag team partner removes the jumper, removes the hoodie, right? And reveals himself as Kanon, right? Kanon was wrestling earlier on in this card against Yuya Kuroku as the first dark match of the show. And yeah, so he's now joined Daisuke Sasaki and MJ Paul in their faction. I don't actually know what the faction's called. How bad does that sound? But yeah, I do know that Daisuke Sasaki and MJ Paul are in a faction with several others, and Kanon is the latest addition to this faction. Excuse me. So yeah, Daisuke Sasaki, MJ Paul, and Kanon ended up walking away victorious. Fairly sort of decent match. I personally rated it 3.75 stars. Excuse me, out of 5. So 3 3/4 stars out of 5. Fairly sort of decent match. So yeah, moving on to match number 8, Harashima and Hikaru Satoru versus Kazusada Higuchi and Yukio Sakaguchi. Kazusada Higuchi was actually in the first ever Nerdic Pro Podcast Bobby SalaStar star rating 5-star match, right? This match was against Konosuke Takeshita. I believe it was God Bless DDT 2022. I believe that was the show. The match definitely was against Konosuke Takeshita for the KOD Openweight Championship. I just can't remember if it definitely was a God Bless DDT 2022. But yeah, so yeah, I believe he's got 3 SalaStar ratings matches to 5-star matches to his name I think, actually. Kazusada Higuchi. I know that Konosuke Takeshi's got 2. I believe that Yukio Sakaguchi and Harashima are like in there somewhere. But yeah, Kazusada Higuchi, I do believe, actually has 3 5-star matches to his name. So yeah. Anyway, so this match was a very, very, very good match. Definitely worth the SalaStar 4.5-star rating, most definitely. So yeah, out of 5, 4.5-star rating. Very, very good match. I'm a huge fan of Harashima, Hikaru, Satoru, Kazusada Higuchi, and Yukio Sakaguchi. I think the 4 of them are absolutely fan-fucking-tastic wrestlers. So yeah. Moving on to the DDT Universal Championship, which was an intergender match between Mao and Asuka. Not the Asuka who currently wrestles for WWE, a different Asuka. Personally, I am not a fan of intergender matches. I do get that it is like somewhat of a tradition over in Japan to actually have intergender matches, like in terms of professional wrestling. However, in terms of my own personal opinion, I don't think that intergender matches should be taking place on a regular basis. So yeah, the odd sort of intergender match every now and again, but not as frequently as they actually take place in DDT. So yeah, however, this match was actually like a really good match. Mao ended up walking away victorious and still your DDT Universal Champion. I personally rated this match 3.75 out of 5 stars. So yeah, moving on to the KOD Tag Team Title match. Chris Brooks and Masahiro Takanashi, the reigning champions, versus a man who should be considered as the 5th pillar of All Japan Pro Wrestling from the mid to late 90s, of Mr. Jun Akiyama and Yusuke Okada. Fuck me, what a match this was. Bloody amazing match. Absolutely fantastic. Right, brilliant tag team match. Brilliant tag team title match. All 4 men put their heart and soul into this match, right? However, I did rate the match 4.75 out of 5, right? As I would have personally liked to have seen this match be like a more sort of submission sort of based match. You got Jun Akiyama in there, who I do know that is a very, very good submission surrealist. And to even go back to his All Japan days, All Japan Pro Wrestling, AJPW, from the early to mid to late